Joining us now for BG Day, former BG teammate, and I'm sorry, man, you're a podcaster now. You're not a former player. Chris Long joins us. How's it feel to be one of us, podcaster guy?
Man, you guys had it harder than I thought. This is this is not as easy as it looks. So yeah, you know.
Well, you seem to be doing a pretty good job at it, brother. You're doing a great job at it.
I appreciate it. I'm hanging in, man. You know, this time of year, it's nice to have a BG day because there's not much to talk about, is there, in the NFL some of these days? But yeah, man.
Learning that too.
It's been good. Thank you.
Chris, you only played here a couple years, but you do feel like when I think now I'm in Philadelphia, but I think about Chris Long, I was like, that guy's an Eagle. Like, definitely an Eagle. Like, what do you think it is about you and about the town that, like, sort of connected in a way that you are remembered here and you identify with the place as if you were here longer than you were?
Well, a couple things. I mean, it's hard to fake loving a place the way I just loved Philly, like, from the minute we pulled up. It's also right place, right time, too, you know. There's a number of us on that team that are going to be remembered a great deal for our contribution to the Eagles, and they might have been small contributions or they might have been quick stops. You know, there's a lot of legendary Eagles that I look back on and think are way more Eagles than I am. But, you know, I was just lucky enough to be there for a couple of years when things were going well. And we just had a special team, man. You know, I think back, you know, I was just looking at the team last year, winning the whole thing, and you know, people ask us who's the better team, and to me, it's not even a conversation. Like, that team was so talented this year; it made a lot of sense that they went out and won the Super Bowl. And you know, you think back to our team, and you know, I don't know if I would have been able to call that. It was just such a magical ride, and it all came together, and it was about the people, man. And I think also, I was just so lucky. It's one of the biggest privileges of my life to be able to share that experience with people who have been waiting a lot longer than I had. You know, I had been waiting to be on a winning team before I went to New England the year prior for, you know, 8-9 years of my career, and now I'm getting a chance to win, and it felt like an eternity. But for Eagles fans who've waited that long to win a Super Bowl, right, haven't seen all those amazing players, guys that were way better than us and way more Eagles than we were just lucky to be there, right place, right time, and I love the city. And for me, you know, 8 years in St. Louis, we don't have a team there anymore, so naturally, I think I needed a home base, and it's not like I tried to make it my home base. It just kind of became the home base for me and my family.
Chris, you also did some great things. I don't want this to go unnoticed, or people just may not remember because we're far removed from it. But besides what you did on the field, contributing, you were also impactful and significant off the field during that time. We're talking about social injustice going on during that time. You certainly supported that cause arm in arm with your teammates. Also, what you did with charities locally, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you played a year where you donated every game check. Like, you may have played a year for free, right?
Yeah, I did, man. And you know how this is, man. Yeah. I mean, money drives you to a certain – well, thank you so much. And money drives you to a certain extent. Like, certainly there was very early in my career, like, getting drafted, old CBA, being top 5, that sort of thing. Like, you know, I worked really hard for that. And when I came on the scene, my mind quickly shifted to, like, cementing a legacy, trying to be the best I can be on the field. Like, it wasn't really about the money for me. I was extremely blessed and fortunate to be, you know, one of the guys that got paid early, and then I got my second contract, you know, played really well in St. Louis and got my second contract. And then to me, I'm like, listen, how much money did I really show up to this thing trying to make in my life? You know, like I'm not playing for money at this point. I'm playing for fulfillment, a chance to win, and that's why I always took less money later in my career. Those two opportunities I had when I finally got to free agency at 31 years old, you know, it was all about handicapping, getting a chance to play somewhere that was going to give me the best chance to win, and that's why I went to New England. And then once I won a Super Bowl, it was like, okay, now I'm really playing with house money, where I've fed my family, I've provided for my family, I have a ring. I want to go somewhere and have fun and play the style of football that I'm accustomed to playing in a 4-3, pin your ears back, attack, play physical. And what I quickly found, when I showed up was not only, hey, there were a lot of real conversations going on that I was involved in, but also it's just a city that, like, it's a magnetic place where you want to do good for the city and you want to pay it forward and you want to meet the fans halfway on that stuff. I mean, for me, I kind of went back and forth on, do I want to publicize playing for free, giving up my game checks, because I didn't want to be the look at me guy, but I was able to donate my salary, and the fans in Philly, and this was so cool about it, who had just met me, they decided to meet me halfway and double our investment in educational equity. And, we're still working hard in that space. And I like to think it kind of started, officially in Philly. And so I'm just so appreciative of the opportunity to do that, and also the fans kind of getting behind it and making it, I wouldn't have been real excited about it if it was just me donating my money. But we turned it into a fundraising opportunity, and fans doubled our investment. So it was a no-brainer doing it, and it kind of was one of those things where I wasn't sure that I wanted to play anymore. It was like I was getting to that point in my career where I was like, well, let me give myself something to really motivate myself just in case I show up and I don't love football anymore. Because, every summer is different when you get in your 30s. You're like, I don't know what it's going to be like. So, I showed up to camp and fell in love with the place and was able to donate the salary, and it was just a magical year, man.
Former Eagle Chris Long with us. No, this is we're in May. Did you hear that? This is just May.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it is. Yeah.
So, Brandon Graham, what do you remember about BG just as a teammate?
One of the best teammates I ever had, and still one of those people. I called him maybe 10 days ago just to check in, and he pick up the phone, second, third ring, whatever it is. He's just the same guy. He doesn't change. He's had a lot of success in the 6 or so years, I can't believe it, since we stopped playing on the same team, and just watching him and guys like Kelsey and just enjoy this elevated level of fame and notoriety and success. They don't change, which is so cool. And that's why I think Philly loves BG, is because he's the same guy. He's always the same guy. He was the same guy every day when he showed up to work. Consistently joyful, consistently brought the positive energy. Even when he was talking trash to people, which he's well known for, there was a tinge of I'm having fun, and guys would be like, I don't know how to take this guy, he's kind of funny, but he's telling me he's going to run me over. And that was just the kind of guy he was. And, man, my favorite thing, if somebody's always like, hey, what's the thing you remember most about BG? I remember that he used to put his pads on and his football pants on, at 7 a.m. We'd have an afternoon practice. And, guys get in at 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., get breakfast, film, tape. You've got meetings for hours before we go out. We're going to be in the we're going to be in the lunchroom, the whole thing. Most guys get, dressed for practice an hour before practice. This dude was dressed like it was the first tryout of his life for Pee Wee football, sitting in his locker, eating, of course, at 7 a.m. With some big breakfast, and he's got all his pads on already. And we're like, BG, what are you doing, bro? But, he was not only just a quirky, funny dude, but he was just a great teammate. And in my experience, if there was no BG, there was no Chris Long those couple years. And, and for me, I was a small part of the story, but it's a huge part of my life playing in Philly, and I don't have that experience if it's not for BG saying, hey, I'll kick inside because I know you can rush the edge real well. Even at my age, I was a left end, and, so is BG, but BG's a really good inside rusher as well. So BG was willing to kind of be the team guy and move around for, a veteran who came in, and I'm a good player in my own right, but a lot of guys might not want to do that. And, it wasn't just BG, playing next to Fletch was amazing. Those guys were all just unselfish people, and BG was second to none. The only time me and BG ever got into it in my entire life, I tell this story a lot, was when we were arguing over who had to rush over Tyron Smith in Dallas. We both wanted to rush over the right tackle, and there was a key moment in the game late where we were both lined up over the right tackle, and it kind of turned into a chicken situation where it was like, are we really, when the ball snaps, both going to be over here? And at the very last minute, I think it was BG or maybe it was me, I just sprinted over and got a rush in on Tyron Smith that But that was the only time we ever kind of like argued over anything. He was just that kind of teammate, and we laugh about that to this day, like two guys standing over, Terrence Steele or whoever it was. But that's how good Tyron Smith was. And BG was a great teammate, man. Just moved up and down the line to accommodate whoever it was. And he was a great football player because he really could do a couple jobs on the defensive line. And what I loved about his game was, he might not have been the guy who was going to lead the league in sacks, but he was the guy that was going to get consistent pass rush wherever he lined up, and he was going to get consistent negatives in the run game. He was one of the most disruptive run players I ever played with, and yet he's very strong, but he's really crafty, and obviously great energy. And, there's nothing I respect more than a guy playing late into his 30s, right? It's the hardest league in the world to play in as you age, and he found a way to play, honestly, some of his best ball down the stretch this last season. I think the game he got hurt in, the Rams game, he was playing the best game I've seen him play since we played together, I thought. Yeah. And he's played some good ball. So just went out on top, was able to battle back, play in the Super Bowl. What a legend, man. I mean, he's just one of a kind.
Chris, I think sometimes, right, we play the game and we play the game because we love the game. And fans, they watch us play and they all wish they could be in that position and playing as long as anybody could ever play. But talk about playing this game when you do get into your 30s and the motivation you have to have. I know when I turned 32, 33, I was already thinking about radio. I was like, man, guys. But for him, and even you played long in your career. I mean, to be a defensive lineman and still have the energy and the drive to want to do it. I'm not so sure he doesn't still think he can play, Chris. Hey, he may still in the back of his mind feel like I got another year in me at least. But
we got to talk to BG and say, hey man, you're in the great ones, give it up at some point. But,
right.
But it is hard. I retired at
the physical
34.
demand. Yeah, the physical demand on your body.
Yes, it is a big demand, and I don't know. Everybody's body changes different times in the NFL. I got IR late in my 20s 2 years in a row, and I lost a couple steps. And, I could still play at a high level, but I wasn't going to be the guy I was anymore. And there's a learning curve to where you have to tailor your game to the current set of circumstances. And a lot of that is dictated by what do you have. And, BG's game aged really well because he played with power. Right? We all played with power. I played with power, but BG had great leverage, played with power, played with technique. So his game was able to age well into his late 30s, 36 or whatever he is now.
Yeah.
And having experience playing at 33, retiring at 34, I think I could have gone a few more years, but it's not easy day to day. And BG to actually go out and do it. There'd be days I'd be sitting there on a Wednesday, just with my feet kicked up, man, I'm glad I'm not doing a Wednesday practice right now. And I would think about BG and his old ass. And I'd be like, dude, I cannot believe he's out there right now. He's probably got his football pants, he's probably got his football pants on at 7 in the morning, with a smile on his face and hyping the young guys up. And you need vets. And I don't know that obviously he contributed on the field, but they definitely don't win a Super Bowl without that veteran in the D-line room. Because the D-line room turned out to be a real showcase spot for them this year, and there were a lot of young guys on that group and guys that needed development and needed to understand how to rush together, how to play together, how to be pros. And when you looked at that room, there weren't a lot of vets. So he did some heavy lifting, man, to be able to get those guys where they needed to be. And so not only the physical part of it, waking up every day being in pain, waking up every day knowing you're not fast anymore, knowing you might have lost a step, knowing that, hey, everything hurts. But then there's also the, in the midst of all that, to be able to bring the energy and the juice and the leadership as your snaps are getting cut into, as you're having to deal with the politics upstairs. And I don't mean I'm talking about just NFL politics where, there's younger players that want to push them along, the whole thing. So you got to be patient. You have to have a great attitude, and you have to take care of your body and be a hard worker and be a technician. And he's all those things.
Well, we can confirm Coach Sirianni about less than an hour ago, we had him on, and he told the same 7 a.m. fully dressed BG story. Still went on this past year. So in his 15th season, he was still doing it.
There's no fixing BG, bro. It's too late.
All right, Chris. Well, we appreciate you. Congratulations on your transition over to one of us as a podcaster.
I'm trying. Thank you. I'm still working on it. But I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us,
Thank
bro.
you. There he is.
Anytime.
Thanks, Chris.